We probably have 40 to 50 fields that we have ran trials on comparing the crop sensor's prescribed rate of nitrogen to the farmer's normal side dress flat rate. And we have had excellent results. On average, we've had a $20 to $30 per acre advantage of the crop sensor over the farmer's flat rate, and that's taking into account the price of nitrogen and the price of the corn per bushel.
Ag Leader Technology is the worldwide distributor of a new crop sensor manufactured by Holland Scientific. Roger Zielke talked to us about the new sensor's use in corn production.
The reason for that advantage is mainly because the sensor will apply more nitrogen in the parts of the field where the corn is shorter and maybe not as healthy looking. And we often see a pretty big yield advantage to extra nitrogen in those areas. In short, what the sensor does, and this is kind of a general statement, but in general, when you're going through the field, it puts less nitrogen on the taller, healthier looking corn and more nitrogen on the shorter, poor looking corn. And compared to the farmer's flat rate, we get an overall yield bump from that strategy, and therefore produce an advantage of $20 to $30 per acre. Probably the best scenario is any field where there's variation in the organic matter or the elevation of the field. Any field that you look at the soil color and it's dark in some areas and lighter in other areas, that's typically where the sensor really has a big advantage over a flat rate. It can also work well in kind of more of a uniform field where the soil is maybe very similar across the field. But the best case is, in particular, any fields that have elevation changes and hills and knolls and stuff like that, where the soil doesn't have as much organic matter. In order for the sensor to work, the crop has to be up out of the ground, and in corn it needs to be at about the V5 stage because it needs enough vegetation to be able to sense the crop. So that means that you need to be side dressing. If you're in corn, if you're in wheat, many people are already top dressing nitrogen, so it's maybe a little bit easier for the farmer to adopt it. But in corn, not everybody side dresses. But there's such a big economic advantage that we think that over time we'll see more and more of that. So really the ideal is to limit your pre-plant nitrogen to like a third or half of your rate, and then come back later in side dress mode and apply the remainder of it. And that will the sensor then, what it does is it sets the stage for the sensor to put the last dose or last half of the nitrogen. It sets the stage for that to be done in the right spot, putting the right amount in the right spot.
For more information, visit precisionagworks.com.